This audiobook, The Third Eye Protocol, unveils the ancient power waiting to be awakened within you. As you listen, you'll learn how to pierce the veil of illusion and reclaim the sacred wisdom that has always been yours. Now is the time to activate this inner gateway and reshape your life from the inside out. The Third Eye Protocol. Introduction. Through countless generations, whispers of an extraordinary power have echoed across civilizations. This power lies dormant within you, waiting to be awakened. It is known by many names: the third eye, the inner vision, the sacred gateway. The ancients understood its significance, protecting this knowledge and passing it only to those ready to receive its transformative truth. This dormant center of perception resides in the space between your physical eyes, a bridge between the seen and unseen realms. When activated, it reveals the fluid nature of reality itself, showing you that what appears solid is merely energy in motion, responsive to the power of focused consciousness. You have glimpsed its potential in those moments when time seemed to stop, when insight flooded your awareness without explanation, when you knew things you could not possibly know through ordinary means. These were not coincidences or flights of imagination. They were glimpses of your innate capacity for expanded perception. The awakening of this sacred center requires more than mere intellectual understanding. It demands a fundamental shift in how you perceive yourself and reality. You are not separate from the universe. You are the universe experiencing itself through human form. Your third eye is the gateway through which this truth becomes lived experience rather than abstract concept. As you progress through these teachings, you will discover ancient practices preserved by those who walked this path before you. These techniques, refined over millennia, will guide you in safely awakening this dormant power. But know this: once awakened, your perception of reality will be forever transformed. You will see beyond the illusion of limitation into the infinite potential that has always existed within you. The journey ahead requires courage, dedication, and unwavering commitment to truth. You stand now at the threshold of transformation. The power to perceive and create reality awaits within you. Part 1. Awakening the Sight Beyond Sight. Chapter 1. The Veil of the Ordinary. In the heart of an ancient marketplace, a young wanderer named Rashid moved through the crowded stalls. Merchants haggled over prices, women balanced heavy baskets, and children darted between legs, each person absorbed in the drama of their own existence. None noticed the old man sitting cross-legged in the shade of a weathered archway, his unseeing eyes somehow holding more wisdom than all the seeing eyes around him. Drawn by an inexplicable force, Rashid approached the sage. "You see more than they do," the old man spoke, before Rashid could utter a word. "Though my eyes perceive no light, I witness truth while they stumble in darkness." The sage's words stirred something deep within you, for they echo an eternal truth. The eyes that perceive the physical world can blind us to deeper realities. Your mind, shaped by years of conditioning, builds walls of limitation brick by brick. These walls become your prison, though you believe them to be protection. Fear whispers that what lies beyond these walls is dangerous or impossible, and so you remain trapped within the familiar. Yet the power of expanded vision already exists within you. Like a bird born in captivity, you need only remember your wings to soar. The illusions that bind you, of separation, of powerlessness, of limitation, are nothing more than shadows cast by the light of truth you have forgotten. This truth reveals itself in the tale of Akram, who spent 30 years in a dim cell, knowing nothing of the world beyond his shadowy confines. His entire reality was defined by those gray walls, the weak light filtering through a tiny window, the daily rhythm of meager meals. When finally freed, He fell to his knees beneath the vast expanse of sky, overwhelmed by the infinity he had never imagined possible. You are Akram, and the walls of your perception are just as illusory. The limited vision you accept as reality is merely a fraction of what exists. Your third eye remains closed not because you lack the ability to see, but because you have forgotten to look. To begin dissolving these walls of illusion, sit in stillness each morning as the sun rises. Watch how your mind labels and judges each sensation, each thought, each moment. Notice how quickly it dismisses the mysterious in favor of the familiar. When you catch yourself saying impossible or that's just how things are, pause. These are the sounds of your prison walls being maintained. Ask yourself, what if everything you believe about reality is merely a tiny window in a vast cell? What if your certainties are the very chains that bind you? Let these questions sink deeper than thought, into the space where true vision begins. This practice of questioning opens hairline fractures in the walls of perception. Through these fractures, light begins to enter. Not the physical light that deceives the outer eyes, but the inner light that reveals all things as they truly are. Chapter 2. The Third Eye. In the mists of time, a tale echoes of a truth-seeker named Kai, who ventured into the sacred peaks where heaven meets earth. Through treacherous paths and biting winds, he climbed ever higher, driven by an unshakable knowing that ancient wisdom awaited. You too are climbing this mountain, though your journey may appear different in form. The temple Kai sought exists in the space between thoughts, in the silence behind all noise. For what you seek lies not in distant peaks, but in the sacred space between your eyebrows. When Kai finally reached the temple, he found not grand halls of gold and marble, but a simple dwelling carved from living rock. There sat the master, eyes closed in eternal meditation. Without opening his eyes, the master raised his hand and pointed to the center of his forehead. "You must open the eye that does not see," he said, his voice carrying the weight of centuries. This center, the third eye, is not merely symbolic. It is a gateway that exists in the subtle anatomy of every human being, as real as your physical eyes, though it operates on a different plane of existence. The ancient texts speak of it as the Ajna Chakra, the command center where human consciousness meets divine awareness. It is here that intuition blooms, where visions are born, and where the power to shape reality resides. Just as a sculptor sees the finished masterpiece within uncarved stone, your third eye perceives the perfect pattern within apparent chaos. This truth lives in the story of the master sculptor Chen, who spent years before a great block of marble. Others saw only rough stone, but Chen's inner vision perceived the dancing figure trapped within. Day after day, Chen's chisel struck with perfect precision, each blow guided by an inner knowing that transcended physical sight. As layers of stone fell away, the figure emerged, not created, but revealed. Those who watched said Chen had performed a miracle, but he simply smiled and said, "I removed everything that was not the dancer. She was there all along." Like Chen's dancer, your expanded vision already exists within the marble of your being. The third eye is not a power to be gained, but a truth to be uncovered. It has always been there, waiting behind the veils of doubt and forgetting. To begin remembering this truth, find a quiet space as twilight approaches. Close your physical eyes and bring your attention to the point between your eyebrows. Feel the subtle pressure there, the gentle pulsing that marks this sacred gateway. Do not strain to see, but allow yourself to sense. Just as you can feel the warmth of the sun with closed eyes, you can feel the presence of this inner eye. Chapter 3. The Law of Perception. In the markets of old Damascus lived a merchant named Rashid, whose quest for fortune led him to purchase an ancient map from a mysterious traveler. The parchment, though weathered by time, promised untold riches in distant lands. With hope burning in his heart, Rashid sold his shop and set forth on his journey. For months he wandered, following the cryptic markings on his map. Where the parchment indicated lush valleys, he found only barren plains. Where it promised crystal springs, he discovered dry riverbeds. His wealth dwindled and his spirit grew heavy with each disappointing discovery. You too carry such a map within your mind, beliefs etched by time and experience that guide your journey through life. Like Rashid, you may find yourself searching fruitlessly, wondering why reality fails to match your expectations. The universe operates through an immutable law. Your perception shapes your reality. What you believe becomes what you see, and what you see reinforces what you believe. This circle of creation spins eternally, crafting your world according to your deepest convictions. When Rashid finally returned home, broken and destitute, he collapsed at his table, spreading the map before him one last time. As evening fell, the lamp's light caught the parchment at an angle, and suddenly he saw what had eluded him. He had been reading the map upside down. The landmarks he had dismissed as worthless were, in truth, markers to unimaginable abundance. Consider now the tale of two brothers, Malik and Karim, who inherited equal portions of their father's land. Each morning, they walked the same paths through their fields. Malik saw only rocks that would damage his plow, weeds that would choke his crops, and clouds that threatened drought. Karim, walking those identical paths, noticed how the rocks could build strong walls, how the weeds could feed his goats, and how each cloud carried life-giving rain. Years passed, and their lands told two different stories. Malik's portion lay fallow and untended, while Karim's flourished with abundant crops and healthy animals. The land had not changed, only the eyes that beheld it. To begin reshaping your perception, find a quiet moment at sunrise or sunset. Sit in stillness and observe your breath. With each inhale, imagine drawing in golden light through your third eye. With each exhale, watch as old beliefs dissolve like morning mist. See your world as pure potential, unmarked by past disappointments or future fears. Let your inner vision clear itself of all that limits you, until you perceive reality as it truly is, a canvas awaiting your conscious creation. Chapter 4. The Forgotten Power of Inner Vision. In the dusty confines of her grandmother's attic, young Sophia discovered an ancient leather-bound tome, its pages yellowed with age. As she opened it, wisdom from centuries past spilled forth, teachings of those who had mastered the art of seeing beyond the veil of physical reality. You too possess this innate ability to perceive what lies beneath the surface of existence. Throughout history, those who have shaped the course of humanity, from Leonardo da Vinci to Nikola Tesla, from the mystics of the East to the prophets of old, all shared one common trait. They cultivated their inner vision until the invisible became visible. These great minds understood that reality extends far beyond what ordinary sight can perceive. They saw the patterns of energy flowing through all things, read the thoughts that shape human destiny, and witness the subtle dance of universal forces that most dismiss as mere coincidence. In a distant mountain village lived Thomas, who lost his sight in childhood. Rather than surrendering to darkness, he developed an extraordinary awareness of his surroundings. He could sense approaching storms before others saw the clouds, knew when plants needed water before they showed signs of wilting, and felt the emotions of others before they spoke a word. Villagers would ask, "How can you know these things without seeing them?" Thomas would smile and reply, "I see with the eye of understanding, which perceives truth more clearly than physical sight ever could." Your own journey to enhance perception begins with a simple yet powerful practice. Each morning, as the world awakens, sit in perfect stillness, close your physical eyes, and open your inner awareness. Listen not just with your ears, but with your entire being. Notice the subtle vibrations in the air, the whispered messages of intuition, the gentle nudge of knowing that transcends logical thought. As you practice this ancient art of deep listening, you will begin to perceive layers of reality that have always existed but remained hidden from ordinary awareness. Like Thomas, you will discover that true sight comes not from the eyes alone, but from awakening the dormant powers of perception that lie within. This awakening unfolds gradually, like a flower opening to the morning sun. What starts as faint whispers of intuition will grow into clear inner knowing, and the veil between the visible and invisible realms will become increasingly transparent. You will find yourself sensing the subtle currents of energy that flow through all things, understanding the unspoken languages of nature, and recognizing the divine patterns woven into the fabric of existence. Chapter 5. How your mind blocks the truth. Long ago, in a realm known as Luminara, a shadow fell across the land. Not a shadow cast by clouds or mountains, but one born of belief. A mysterious figure draped in dark robes whispered through the streets that the people had lost their power to shape their destiny. Though his words held no true magic, the people believed them, and in their belief, they forged their own chains. You too may recognize this ancient tale playing out in your own life. The spells that bind you are not woven of mystical forces, but of thoughts accepted as truth. These invisible restraints, doubt, fear, limiting beliefs, are as powerful as any enchantment, for they convince you that your current perception of reality is all that exists. Just as the people of Luminara accepted their powerlessness without question, you may have embraced beliefs that dim your inner sight. These beliefs act as veils, obscuring the vast potential that lies within. They whisper that you are bound by circumstance, that your perception must remain limited, that the extraordinary abilities of the mystics are beyond your reach. In the halls of wisdom lived a scholar named Raven, who spent his life studying the nature of water by examining his well. When travelers spoke of vast oceans, he dismissed their tales as fantasy. "Water can only exist as I have seen it," he declared, measuring truth by the narrow confines of his experience. One day, fate led Raven to the coast. As he stood before the endless expanse of the sea, his carefully constructed theories crumbled like sand castles before the tide. The ocean cared nothing for his beliefs about what was possible. It simply was in all its boundless majesty. Your own journey to expanded perception requires the courage to question every belief that tells you this is all there is. The barriers you perceive are not walls but windows, clouded by the dust of accumulated assumptions. To begin clearing these windows of perception, sit in silence with paper and pen. Write down every belief you hold about what is and is not possible regarding your ability to perceive reality. Examine each belief as though you are holding a delicate crystal to the light. Where did this belief come from? What evidence supports it? What might become possible if this belief were not true? As you question each limitation, feel the subtle shift in your awareness. Like ice melting in spring, rigid beliefs begin to flow, creating space for new possibilities to emerge. This practice does not require force or struggle. Simply allow your awareness to expand naturally, like the surface of a lake reflecting an ever wider expanse of sky. With each breath, your consciousness gently unfolds, revealing dimensions of perception that have always existed, waiting patiently for your recognition. The boundaries you once accepted as absolute truths begin to shimmer and fade, like morning mist dissipating in the warmth of understanding. Trust in this process of awakening, for it follows the ancient rhythm of all transformative growth, gradual, effortless, and inevitable. Chapter 6: The Frequency of the Third Eye. In the ancient city of Akasha, a young musician named Layla spent her days studying the sacred art of sound. Each morning she would sit with her instrument, a stringed vina passed down through generations, and lose herself in the subtle vibrations of each note. As she played, she began to notice something extraordinary. Certain combinations of notes seemed to shift not just the air around her, but the very fabric of reality itself. The universe speaks in the language of vibration. Every particle, every thought, every moment of existence resonates at its own unique frequency. Your third eye, that sacred center of higher perception, is attuned to specific vibrations that unlock doorways to expanded consciousness. Just as a master musician can distinguish between the finest gradations of tone, you possess the innate ability to perceive the subtle frequencies that shape reality. This is not mysticism, but a fundamental law of existence, like attracts like, and consciousness naturally gravitates toward matching vibrations. Think of your awareness as an instrument that can be tuned. When you operate at lower frequencies, fear, doubt, material concerns, you perceive only the denser aspects of reality. But as you raise your vibration through practice and intention, new octaves of experience become available to you. A wanderer named Hassan once entered a mysterious chamber in an ancient temple. The room contained 7 lanterns, each casting light of a different color. As he moved from one light to another, he noticed how each hue transformed the appearance of everything around him. Under the red light, the world seemed filled with passion and vitality. The blue light brought forth feelings of peace and clarity. The violet light awakened something deeper, a sense of connection to the infinite. What Hassan discovered was not just about color, but about the nature of perception itself. Reality is not fixed but fluid, changing its appearance based on the frequency through which you observe it. Your third eye naturally resonates with higher frequencies, allowing you to perceive beyond the limited spectrum of ordinary consciousness. To begin attuning your third eye to these elevated frequencies, find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably and play, or listen to a pure tone at 432 Hz, the frequency of nature itself. As the sound fills the space around you, focus your attention on the point between your eyebrows. Feel the vibration creating a gentle resonance in this center. After several minutes, introduce a second tone at 528 Hz, known as the frequency of transformation. Allow these harmonious frequencies to work together, creating a bridge between your ordinary perception and the heightened awareness of your third eye. Simply rest in this sonic field, allowing the vibrations to do their work of attunement. Chapter 7, Signs Your Third Eye is Awakening. In the serene halls of an ancient monastery, a young monk named Ravi noticed changes occurring within him. At first they were subtle, a whisper of intuition that proved true, dreams that carried messages from beyond, a knowing that transcended ordinary understanding. When he shared these experiences with his teacher, the old master's eyes sparkled with recognition. You too will recognize these sacred signs as your third eye awakens. Like the first rays of dawn breaking through darkness, these manifestations herald the expansion of your consciousness. The signs are unmistakable, though they may appear gradually. First comes the heightening of intuition, knowing things without logical explanation, sensing truth beneath surface appearances. You might find yourself finishing others' thoughts or understanding situations before they fully unfold. Dreams become more vivid and meaningful, carrying messages that linger into waking life. The boundary between sleep and consciousness grows thin, revealing glimpses of deeper realities. Physical sensations often accompany this awakening. A gentle pressure or tingling between the eyebrows, unexpected flashes of light in meditation, or waves of energy moving through the crown of the head. Synchronicities multiply in your life. What others call coincidence, you recognize as the language of the universe speaking directly to you. Time seems to flow differently, expanding or contracting according to your state of consciousness. In the fertile valleys of an ancient land lived a farmer named Chen. He received a mysterious seed from a traveling sage who told him it would grow into a tree of enlightenment. Chen planted the seed and watched patiently. First came a slight stirring in the soil, then a tiny shoot emerged. Each day brought subtle changes, a new leaf unfurling, the stem growing stronger, roots reaching deeper into the earth. Just as Chen witnessed the gradual but inevitable growth of that sacred seed, your third eye awakening follows a natural progression. Each sign, no matter how small, confirms that the inner eye is beginning to open. To track your awakening journey, maintain a daily record in a journal dedicated to this purpose. Each evening, note any unusual perceptions, dreams, intuitive flashes, or energetic sensations you experienced. Document synchronicities and moments of unexplainable knowing. Over time, patterns will emerge, revealing the unique way your third eye communicates with you. Write without judgment, understanding that each person's awakening manifests in its own perfect way and unfolds according to divine timing. Some may experience vivid visions, while others receive subtle whispers of intuition. Neither path is superior. They are simply different expressions of the same sacred unfoldment. This journal becomes both a mirror of your progress and a sacred text of your personal transformation, a testament to your expanding consciousness that you can review in times of doubt or celebration. In its pages, you will discover patterns and connections that were invisible in the moment, but become profound revelations when viewed through the lens of time. Chapter 8. The Power of Seeing Beyond Illusion. In the annals of ancient wisdom there lies a tale of two travelers who ventured into the great desert. The first traveler, Khalid, saw only endless waves of sand stretching to the horizon, a barren wasteland devoid of life or meaning. The second traveler, Amira, perceived something altogether different. Where Khalid saw emptiness, she recognized sacred geometries in the dunes, hidden pathways marked by subtle signs, and oases veiled from ordinary sight. You stand now at the threshold of such perception. The world before you is layered with veils, illusions woven from societal conditioning, personal fears, and accumulated experiences. These veils act as filters, distorting your vision of reality's true nature. Yet as the third eye awakens, these veils begin to dissolve. Think of reality as a vast tapestry. Most perceive only the surface pattern, but beneath lie threads of energy, intention, and truth waiting to be discovered. The awakened third eye allows you to perceive all layers simultaneously, the visible and invisible, the manifest and unmanifest. These veils of illusion serve as both protection and limitation. They shield the unprepared mind from overwhelming truth, yet they also restrict your ability to navigate reality's deeper currents. As your inner vision strengthens, these veils naturally fall away, revealing the world as it truly exists. In a distant mountain village lived a woman named Maya, who inherited an ancient mirror from her grandmother. At first glance, the mirror appeared scratched and worthless, its surface clouded by age. Yet one morning, as sunlight struck its surface, Maya noticed something extraordinary. The mirror revealed not just reflections, but the true nature of whatever stood before it. When she gazed at people, she saw not their outer appearance, but their inner light. When she looked at situations, she perceived not just events, but the hidden forces shaping them. Like Maya's mirror, your third eye acts as an instrument of truth, cutting through appearances to reveal essence. It shows you not what you expect to see, but what truly is. A smile might mask deception, while apparent hostility might shield a cry for help. The awakened eye perceives these subtleties with perfect clarity. To strengthen this perception, practice observing without judgment. Each day, select one person or situation and look beyond surface appearances. Notice your immediate assumptions, then gently set them aside. Allow your inner vision to reveal deeper truths, motivations beneath actions, wisdom within challenges, opportunities within obstacles. This practice gradually attunes your consciousness to the subtle dimensions of reality that exist beyond the veils of ordinary perception. Like a master sculptor who sees the finished masterpiece within an uncut block of marble, you must train yourself to perceive the hidden potential within all things. Begin with simple observations, perhaps a stranger's fleeting expression, a child's moment of frustration, or a seemingly random encounter that catches your attention. As you suspend your initial reactions, you create space for profound understanding to emerge. The universe speaks in whispers and symbols, revealing its secrets to those who approach life with reverent curiosity and patient attention. This daily practice of deep seeing transforms not only your perception, but your very being. As your inner eye awakens, you'll find yourself naturally drawn to the essential truth of each moment, discovering profound meaning in what others might dismiss as mundane. The world becomes a living tapestry of interconnected meanings, each thread revealing its purpose to your awakened consciousness. Chapter 9: The Sacred Pineal Gland Connection. In the shadow-dappled halls of an ancient mountain temple, a young disciple named Ravi knelt before his master. Between them sat a crystal, perfectly formed, catching the light in mesmerizing patterns. "What you see before you," the master spoke, "exists within every human being, not as a physical crystal, but as something far more precious, the pineal gland. You too possess this sacred jewel, nestled in the center of your brain." The ancients knew of its power, naming it the third eye, the seat of the soul, the gateway to divine vision. Modern science has confirmed what the mystics always knew. This small pine cone-shaped gland contains light-sensitive cells similar to those in your physical eyes. Within its crystalline structure lies the capacity to perceive beyond ordinary reality. When activated, it secretes powerful compounds that awaken visionary states of consciousness. This is no metaphor. It is biological truth merged with spiritual wisdom. The Egyptian eye of Horus, the pine cone staff of Osiris, the crown chakra of Eastern traditions, all point to this singular truth. Your pineal gland is a biological doorway to higher perception, yet in most humans this inner eye lies dormant, calcified by modern living. Fluoride, electromagnetic frequencies, and processed foods slowly crystallize this sensitive organ, dimming its natural radiance. The ancient seers knew techniques to keep this gland pure and receptive, methods passed down through millennia, now forgotten by most. There once lived an astronomer named Thomas, who dedicated his life to studying the cosmos. His observatory housed the finest telescopes, and he spent countless nights mapping distant galaxies. Yet despite his vast knowledge of the heavens, he felt something was missing. One night, frustrated by cloudy skies, he turned his attention inward through meditation. In that moment of inner silence, he experienced more of the universe's mysteries than all his years of external observation had revealed. Just as Thomas discovered, true cosmic vision comes not from looking outward, but from awakening the inner eye. Your pineal gland serves as a cosmic antenna, capable of receiving frequencies and wisdom far beyond ordinary perception. When purified and activated, it becomes a living bridge between physical and spiritual dimensions. To cleanse and awaken this sacred organ, begin with pure spring water, free from fluoride. Add to your diet foods rich in boron, beets, dates, raisins, and raw honey. Incorporate chlorella and spirulina to aid detoxification. Each morning, greet the sun with closed eyes, allowing natural light to stimulate your pineal gland. At night, rest in complete darkness, as artificial light disrupts its natural rhythms. Through these practices handed down by the ancient ones, you gradually restore your inner eye to its natural state of receptivity. Chapter 10. The First Ritual. In a chamber hewn from ancient stone, illuminated by flickering torchlight, a young man named Kamal stood before walls covered in sacred symbols. His guide, an elder versed in forgotten ways, traced the glyphs with weathered fingers. "These markings," the elder whispered, "hold the key to awakening the eye within. You too stand now at the threshold of revelation. The ritual passed down through countless generations lies before you, waiting to be unveiled. Like those who came before, you will discover that awakening the third eye requires not force but surrender, not acquisition but remembrance. The practice begins with the breath of life itself. As you sit in stillness, draw breath deeply into your being, allowing each inhalation to rise like sacred smoke to the center of your forehead. With each exhale, feel the subtle pressure building in this sacred space. This is the first key, the breath that feeds the inner flame. Next comes the visualization. Picture a lotus flower, unopened, resting between your eyebrows. With each breath, see it slowly unfurling its petals, revealing the luminous pearl within. This pearl begins to pulse with indigo light, growing stronger with each heartbeat. This is the second key, the power of focused intention. Finally, the sacred sound emerges, the vibration that has opened the inner eye for millennia. The mantra, AUM, resonates at the exact frequency needed to stimulate this dormant center. Let it flow from deep within, feeling its vibration in the very center of your head. This is the third key, the sound that breaks the seals. There once lived a sculptor named Wei who spent decades working with marble. Each day, he would study his stone, seeing past its rough exterior to the beauty trapped within. Others saw only cold rock, but Wei perceived the dancing figures, the flowing forms waiting to be freed. Year after year he refined his art until one day, with tears in his eyes, he unveiled his masterpiece, a figure so alive it seemed to breathe. "I did not create this," he said to those who praised him. "I merely removed what was hiding it." Like Wei's sculpture, your third eye exists in perfection, waiting to be uncovered. The ritual you have learned serves not to create something new, but to strip away the layers that have kept it dormant. The pressure you feel, the sensations that arise, these are not the awakening itself, but the signs of unveiling. To begin this sacred practice, find a quiet space where you will remain undisturbed. Sit with spine straight, hands resting in your lap. Close your physical eyes and begin the breath of awakening. Deep, slow, rising to the third eye center. Let the visualization of the lotus unfold naturally, without strain. Then, let the ancient sound arise from within. AUM, repeated in cycles of 7. Continue for 7 minutes, allowing whatever sensations arise without attachment or expectation. Part 2. Mastering the Inner Dimension. Chapter 11. Seeing Energy. In the mountains of Tibet, a young man named Chen approached the gates of an ancient monastery. The monks who dwelled there were known for their ability to perceive what others could not, to read the invisible tapestry of energy that weaves through all of existence. You too possess this innate ability, though it lies dormant within. The world you see with physical eyes represents merely a fraction of what exists. Beyond the solid forms and familiar shapes flows an ocean of energy, vibrant, alive, and responsive to your consciousness. Everything in existence pulses with its own unique frequency. Each thought you think sends ripples through this unseen sea. Every word you speak casts waves of energy into the world. Even your emotions paint the air around you with distinct patterns and hues. The monks taught Chen that true sight begins when you learn to quiet the constant chatter of the mind. In In silence, the subtle energies become apparent, first as whispers, then as clear signals that cannot be ignored. Through patient practice, he learned to perceive the luminous field surrounding every living thing, to read the stories written in light around each person he encountered. These energy fields, these auras, reveal what words cannot hide. They speak of health and illness, of joy and sorrow, of past wounds and future potential. They show the truth of a person's inner state, beyond all pretense and deception. There once lived a healer named Maya who could see these energetic imbalances as clearly as you see colors. Where doctors saw symptoms, she perceived the deeper disturbances in the life force itself. Her patients would ask, "How did you know?" And she would smile, knowing that she had simply learned to trust what had always been visible to her awakened inner eye. This gift of energetic sight is your birthright. The ability to perceive these subtle realms awakens naturally as your third eye opens. Like learning to read, it begins with simple shapes and patterns, gradually expanding into complete understanding. To begin sensing these energy fields, sit comfortably in a dimly lit room. Place your hands palms up, fingers slightly spread. Allow your vision to soften, looking slightly above and between your fingers. Do not strain, let your eyes relax as though gazing at a distant horizon. Soon you may notice a subtle haze, like heat rising from summer pavement. This is the first glimpse of the energy field that surrounds your hands. As your sensitivity increases, practice with plants, then with people, with their permission. Always maintain a soft, unfocused gaze. The aura will appear first as a transparent outline, then possibly with color and movement. Remember, you are not imagining these energies. You are simply becoming aware of what has always been there, waiting for you to notice. Chapter 12. The Law of Vibration and Inner Sight. In a hidden valley where ancient wisdom still whispers through the wind, a traveler named Amir came upon a woman playing a golden harp. Its music seemed to dance in the air, each note shimmering with visible light. As he drew closer, the musician smiled and said, "You see it, don't you? The vibration of truth itself. You live in a universe of vibration. Every particle, every thought, every emotion resonates at its own unique frequency. Just as the harpist's fingers pluck strings to create harmonious tones, your consciousness interacts with the invisible threads of reality, creating the symphony of your experience. The physical world you perceive represents only a narrow band of possible frequencies. Like a radio tuned to a single station, your ordinary awareness captures merely one channel of existence. But as your third eye awakens, you begin to sense the full spectrum of vibration, from the densest matter to the highest spiritual frequencies. Your thoughts and emotions are not abstract concepts but real forces that vibrate through the fabric of reality. Fear, doubt, and anger resonate at lower frequencies, creating distortion in your perception. Love, joy, and spiritual awareness vibrate at higher frequencies, aligning you with clearer vision and deeper truth. In the mountains of Nepal lived an artist named Lin, who painted landscapes unlike any others. Where others saw only trees and stones, she captured the singing essence of each place, the vibrating life force that gave each scene its true nature. Those who viewed her work would say, "I can feel the place breathing." She had learned to attune her inner eye to the frequency of life itself. This vibrational awareness reveals a profound truth. Everything you perceive is shaped by your own frequency. When you operate at lower vibrations, the world appears dense, limited, and material. As you raise your frequency through spiritual practice, meditation, and conscious awareness, reality becomes more fluid, luminous, and alive with possibility. To begin attuning your third eye to higher frequencies, find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably and take 3 deep breaths. Begin by intoning the sacred sound, Om, letting it resonate through your body. Feel the vibration gathering between your eyebrows. As you continue, gradually raise the pitch of your voice, allowing the sound to become higher and lighter. Notice how different frequencies affect your awareness. After several minutes, sit in silence and observe the subtle vibrations continuing to pulse through your being. Chapter 13. The Illusion of Time and Space. In the ancient city of Samarkand, an old man named Rashid sat beneath a withered tree, speaking of events yet to unfold. The merchants and travelers who passed by dismissed his words as the ramblings of a madman. Yet as the seasons turned, each prophecy manifested with uncanny precision. Wars, natural disasters, the rise and fall of leaders. Those who had once mocked him returned with questions, only to find him gone, leaving behind a simple message. Time is not what you believe it to be. You have been taught that time flows like a river, moving only forward. This is the first illusion you must transcend. Time is not a line but a field, a vast expanse where past, present, and future exist simultaneously. Your ordinary vision perceives only a narrow slice of this eternal moment, like watching a single frame of an endless film. The third eye, when fully awakened, pierces through the illusion of sequential time. Just as your physical eyes can scan across a landscape, seeing both near and far, your inner vision can survey the landscape of time itself. This is not prophecy as you understand it, but direct perception of what already exists in the infinite now. In a remote monastery, a woman named Maya mastered the art of conscious dreaming. Each night, she would enter the dream realm with full awareness, discovering that the laws governing time held no power there. She could witness events from centuries past or glimpse possibilities yet to manifest. Through her dreams, she learned that consciousness is not bound by time. It is time that is bound by consciousness. This truth unveils itself. What you call the future exists as potential, like seeds waiting to sprout. Your third eye can perceive these seeds, showing you probable outcomes based on current energetic patterns. Yet nothing is fixed. Each moment of awareness offers the power to choose, to shift the patterns, to nurture different seeds into manifestation. To touch this timeless state, create a sacred space of silence. Close your physical eyes and focus on the point between your eyebrows. Breathe deeply and imagine your consciousness expanding beyond the boundaries of now. Feel yourself floating in an infinite sea of possibility where all moments exist at once. Without seeking or straining, allow impressions to arise, images, feelings, knowings from what you call past or future. Simply observe, understanding that you are not seeing through the lens of time but from the eternal present where all existence flows. Chapter 14. The Universal Mirror. A young wanderer named Khalil journeyed to the Temple of Reflection, where an ancient mirror was said to reveal the deepest truths of existence. After days of preparation and fasting, he stood before the legendary glass. As he gazed into its depths, something extraordinary occurred. Instead of his own image, he saw the world around him with startling clarity. Every person who had ever wounded him bore the face of his own fears. Every blessing he had overlooked shimmered with the light of his forgotten gratitude. You see the world not as it is, but as you are. This truth lies at the heart of third eye perception. The reality you experience is not separate from your consciousness. It is a projection, a reflection, an extension of your inner state. When you perceive through ordinary sight, you believe you are observing an objective world. But as your third eye awakens, you recognize that every judgment, every reaction, every interpretation reveals more about you than about what you observe. Think of your consciousness as a projector, continuously casting images upon the screen of existence. The scenes you witness, conflict or harmony, lack or abundance, love or fear, emerge from the film running within your own mind. This is why two people can observe the same situation, yet experience entirely different realities. Each perceives through the lens of their own consciousness. In the kingdom of Aldara, a ruler named Cyrus waged endless wars against neighboring lands. His armies fought phantom enemies year after year, until one day, while meditating in his chamber, his third eye opened. In that moment of clarity, he saw that each enemy he fought embodied an aspect of himself he had refused to face. The greed he condemned in others was his own unacknowledged hunger for power. The treachery he feared masked his own inner betrayals. This unveils a profound truth. Your third eye does not simply enhance what you see, it reveals why you see what you see. Every person who triggers you becomes a mirror, reflecting parts of yourself crying for recognition. Every situation that challenges you highlights beliefs ready for transformation. Every moment of joy points to inner treasures you have cultivated. Stand before a mirror in complete silence. Gaze deeply into your own eyes, beyond the surface reflection. Allow your third eye to open, transforming the mirror into a portal of self-discovery. As you maintain this gaze, observe the thoughts, emotions, and judgments that arise. Notice how each reaction reveals an aspect of your consciousness. Extend this awareness into your daily life, recognizing that every person, every circumstance, every challenge serves as a mirror, reflecting the light or shadow of your own being. Chapter 15. The Power of Focused Imagination. A master sculptor named Darius stood before an untouched block of marble in his workshop. When asked what he saw, he smiled and said, "A masterpiece." The onlookers exchanged puzzled glances, seeing only rough stone. Yet day after day, Darius worked with unwavering certainty. His chisel moved with precision, each strike guided by an inner vision. Gradually, a magnificent form emerged, exactly as he had seen it in his mind's eye. You possess this same power of inner sight. The third eye does not merely perceive what exists, it sees what could be. This vision is not mere fantasy or wishful thinking. It is a sacred form of seeing that precedes physical manifestation. Just as Darius perceived the finished sculpture within raw stone, your third eye can glimpse the potential lying dormant within present reality. When you strengthen this inner vision, the boundary between imagination and manifestation begins to dissolve. The images you hold in your mind become blueprints that reality follows. This is why the ancient masters taught that attention is the architect of existence. Where your focus flows, energy follows. In a distant monastery there lived a mystic named Rayan, who had mastered this art of creative vision. He would sit in meditation, holding a clear image in his mind. A healing spring, an abundant harvest, a bridge across an impassable ravine. Within days or weeks, what he had pictured would materialize in the physical world. Those who witnessed this called it miracle-making, but Rayan explained that he was simply seeing with the eye that creates. This reveals an eternal truth. Reality is more fluid than you have been taught to believe. The solid world you perceive is actually a canvas, awaiting the brush of your focused imagination. When your third eye is fully awakened, you recognize that what you call imagination is actually a form of perception, one that sees across the bridge of time, glimpsing what is possible before it manifests. Close your eyes and enter the sacred chamber of your inner vision. Picture a small seed in rich soil. See it with such clarity that every detail becomes vivid, its shape, its color, the texture of its shell. Now watch as it begins to sprout. Feel the life force stirring within it. Observe each stage of its growth. The emerging shoot breaking through the soil's surface, the tender unfurling leaves reaching toward an unseen sun, the strengthening stem growing tall and sturdy with each passing moment. Watch as branches extend outward, leaves multiply, and the plant's essence radiates with vitality. Continue until you see the fully grown plant, vibrant and alive, swaying gently in a cosmic breeze. This sacred exercise strengthens your third eye's creative power, teaching you to hold and nurture visions with unwavering focus until they take root in physical reality. Just as the seed transforms through your inner sight, so too will your deepest desires manifest when tended with patience and spiritual conviction. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 16, The Energy of Thought and Seeing Beyond Lies. In the grand halls of an ancient palace, a wise sage named Kairos served as advisor to a young prince. One day, as courtiers filled the throne room with endless chatter and flowery promises, Kairos placed his hand on the prince's shoulder and whispered, "Words are but shadows dancing on walls. Truth lies in the silence between them. You too must learn to see beyond the veil of language." The third eye perceives a deeper communication, one that flows beneath the surface of spoken words. Every being radiates truth through their energy, regardless of what their lips may speak. When you attune your inner sight to this subtle realm, you begin to notice how energy shifts with each word uttered. A smile may grace someone's face while their energy contracts in deception. Another may stumble over their words, yet their energy glows with genuine intention. This is the language of truth that cannot be fabricated or disguised. In the bustling markets of an ancient trade route, there lived a merchant named Rashad, who built his fortune on this very principle. While others relied on contracts and promises, Rashad would close his eyes briefly before each deal, sensing the energy behind the words. Those who knew him marveled at how he never failed to distinguish authentic opportunities from hollow schemes. "The tongue may twist," he would say, "but energy flows straight from the heart." This wisdom reveals the essential truth, that your third eye is a detector of authenticity. When fully awakened, it allows you to perceive the subtle vibrations that accompany every word, every gesture, every intention. Like ripples on water, these energetic signatures cannot be hidden from one who has learned to see with their inner eye. To begin perceiving beyond words, find a quiet space where you can practice undisturbed. Close your physical eyes and open your inner sight. As you listen to those around you, release your attachment to the meaning of their words. Instead, feel the energy that carries them. Notice how truth resonates like a clear bell, while deception creates discordant waves in the field of your awareness. This ancient practice will attune your third eye to the silent language of energy, revealing what lies beneath the surface of all communication. With consistent practice, you will discover that every spoken word carries its own unique vibration, a spiritual fingerprint that cannot be falsified. Like a master musician who can detect the slightest discord in a symphony, your heightened awareness will naturally distinguish between authentic expression and empty rhetoric. The masters of old knew this secret well. The physical ear hears the words, but the awakened heart feels their truth. Let this wisdom guide you as you develop this sacred gift of discernment. Chapter 17, Transcending Fear. In the ancient scrolls of the East, there is told a tale of a valiant knight named Aldrich who sought the treasure of ultimate wisdom. His journey led him to a cave shrouded in darkness, where an old mystic stood at its entrance. "Within lies what you seek," the mystic spoke. "But to reach it you must walk straight ahead no matter what terrors your mind conjures, for the cave shows you nothing but reflections of your own fears." As you journey through life, you too face this same challenge. The fears that seem so real, of failure, of loss, of the unknown, are but shadows cast by an untrained mind. Your third eye, when awakened, pierces through these illusions, revealing the empty nature of fear itself. The cave's darkness enveloped Aldrich as he stepped forward. Serpents appeared to slither at his feet. Demons reached for him with razor-sharp claws, and the walls themselves seemed to close in. Yet, remembering the mystic's words, he continued forward, his heart steady, his gaze fixed ahead. With each step of unwavering courage, the illusions grew fainter until they dissolved completely, revealing a chamber bathed in golden light. This truth extends beyond ancient tales. In a distant village lived Sophia, a woman bound by countless fears: fear of speaking her truth, fear of pursuing her dreams, fear of standing in her power. For years, these fears dictated her every choice until one day she chose to face them directly. With each confrontation, she discovered a remarkable truth. The fears that had imprisoned her existed only in her mind. They were like mist, substantial in appearance but dissolving at the slightest touch of awareness. The third eye reveals this profound reality. Fear is not a wall, but a veil, thin, transparent, and entirely penetrable. When you learn to see through this veil, you recognize that what seemed like insurmountable obstacles were merely projections of your own doubts. To move beyond fear's illusions, seat yourself in stillness and close your physical eyes. Breathe deeply and visualize yourself in a space of pure white light. As fears arise, observe them without resistance. See them for what they are. Thoughts, nothing more. Let the light of your awareness shine through each fear, watching as they become transparent and eventually dissolve. With each breath affirm, I see through all illusions. I am boundless awareness itself. This practice, passed down through generations of mystics, dissolves the veils of fear that block your true vision. As your third eye strengthens, you'll recognize that fear was never the enemy. It was simply a call to awaken to your own unlimited nature. Chapter 18. The Role of Breathwork in Third Eye Mastery. In the high mountains of Tibet, where the air is thin and pure, a master named Kensho gathered his disciples at dawn. As the first rays of sun painted the peaks in gold, he revealed an ancient secret that had been guarded for generations. Your breath, he whispered, is not merely air entering and leaving your body. It is the sacred thread that weaves between the realms of matter and spirit. Through breath, you access states of consciousness beyond ordinary perception. This truth has been known to mystics since time immemorial. The rhythm of your breath directly influences the opening of your third eye. When breath becomes conscious, awareness expands beyond the limitations of physical sight. Kensho taught his disciples a technique passed down through an unbroken lineage of enlightened beings. As they practiced, their ordinary perception began to shift. Colors became more vivid, and they perceived subtle lights dancing at the edge of their vision. Some reported seeing golden orbs of energy, while others witnessed the luminous aura surrounding living beings. There once lived a renowned healer named Chen in a remote valley. Unlike other healers who relied on herbs and potions, Chen had mastered the art of healing through breath alone. When faced with illness or discord, he would alter his breathing pattern in specific ways, instantly shifting his consciousness to perceive the root cause of any ailment. Through this elevated awareness, he could direct healing energy with remarkable precision. What Chen understood, and what you must now grasp, is that breath is the master key to higher perception. Each pattern of breathing creates a corresponding state of consciousness. Short, shallow breaths keep you bound to ordinary awareness, while deep, rhythmic breathing opens the gateway to expanded vision. To awaken this power within yourself, find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Sit with your spine straight, allowing energy to flow freely. Begin by inhaling deeply through your nose for a count of 4, directing the breath to your third eye center. Hold this breath for a count of 7, feeling pressure building at the point between your eyebrows. As you exhale through your mouth for a count of 8, visualize this pressure transforming into pure light. With each cycle, the light grows stronger, clearer, more radiant. Continue this rhythm, 4 counts in, 7 counts hold, 8 counts out, until you begin to sense a subtle tingling or warmth in your third eye region. This sensation indicates the activation of your pineal gland, the physical anchor of your inner vision. Practice this breathing pattern for at least 11 minutes, maintaining unwavering focus on the third eye center. As the ancient texts promise, with dedicated practice, the veil between ordinary and extraordinary perception will gradually lift, revealing the luminous nature of reality that has always existed beyond the threshold of everyday awareness. Chapter 19, The Second Ritual. In the highest reaches of the Himalayas, where the air grows thin and the stars seem close enough to touch, there lived a hermit known as the Keeper of the Infinite Gaze. Those who made the treacherous journey to his dwelling spoke of his eyes, not for their color or shape, but for the depths they contained, as if looking into them was like peering into the cosmos itself. You stand now at the threshold of one of humanity's most guarded secrets, a technique so powerful that it was shared only with those deemed ready to perceive beyond the boundaries of ordinary sight. This method, known as the gaze of infinity, has been preserved through countless generations, passed from master to disciple in unbroken succession. The practice begins with stillness, not just of the body, but of the mind. As you sit in perfect quietude, your eyes remain open, focused on a single point in the distance. Yet this point is not truly distant, for distance itself is an illusion. The true gaze turns inward, even as your eyes remain fixed outward. There once lived a sage named Akira, who mastered this technique after years of dedicated practice. Each dawn, he would sit facing the rising sun, his gaze steady and unwavering. Those who observed him said his body appeared to fade, becoming translucent as a morning mist. In these moments, Akira accessed the Akashic records, the universal repository of all knowledge and wisdom. Through the gaze of infinity, he witnessed the birth of stars and the death of galaxies, understanding that all of time existed simultaneously in the eternal now. The power of this practice lies not in what you see, but in how you see. When performed with proper alignment, the gaze of infinity bypasses the ordinary mechanisms of vision, activating the dormant potential of your third eye. This is not mere visualization or imagination. It is a fundamental shift in the way consciousness perceives reality. To begin this sacred practice, find a space where you can sit undisturbed, preferably at dawn or dusk, when the veils between worlds are thinnest. Position yourself comfortably, spine erect, shoulders relaxed. Choose a point at eye level, perhaps the horizon or a distant mountain peak. Allow your gaze to rest there, soft yet unwavering. As you maintain this gentle focus, become aware of the space between your eyebrows. Feel it beginning to pulse with subtle energy. Do not strain or force your vision. Instead, allow your awareness to expand naturally, as if your consciousness is gradually filling the entire room, then the landscape, then the sky itself. The physical world may begin to shimmer or appear translucent. You might notice patterns of light or geometric forms dancing at the edges of your vision. These are the first signs that the veils of ordinary perception are beginning to lift, revealing the infinite nature of reality that has always existed beyond the limitations of physical sight. Chapter 20. How to receive downloads from the universe. In the depths of a moonlit valley, a mystic named Rumi sat beneath the vast expanse of stars. As his breath slowed and his mind stilled, the boundaries between self and cosmos began to dissolve. Suddenly, knowledge of ancient civilizations, forgotten languages, and universal laws flowed through his consciousness. Wisdom he had never learned through conventional means. The third eye, when fully awakened, becomes a receiver of universal intelligence. Just as radio waves travel invisibly through space until captured by an antenna, Cosmic wisdom perpetually flows through the universe, waiting to be received by those who have cultivated the ability to tune in. This divine reception occurs when the third eye vibrates in harmony with higher frequencies of consciousness. In these elevated states, you access what the ancients called the Akashic records, a cosmic library containing all knowledge, past, present, and future. This is not imagination or fantasy, but direct transmission from the universal mind to your own. The key lies in understanding that all wisdom already exists. Nothing is truly new. It simply awaits discovery by those who have developed the capacity to perceive it. When your third eye awakens, you become a clear channel through which this timeless knowledge can flow. In a distant mountain monastery, there lived an artist named Maya, who spent her nights painting vivid images that came to her in dreams. Her brushstrokes captured mysterious symbols and scenes she did not understand. Years later, while traveling through an ancient temple, she discovered those exact symbols carved into stone walls thousands of years ago, their meanings matching precisely what she had painted. Maya's experience reveals a profound truth. The third eye connects you to a stream of knowledge that transcends time and space. Her paintings weren't creations of imagination, but revelations of eternal wisdom, accessed through her awakened inner vision. The wisdom you seek does not need to be learned, it needs to be remembered. Your third eye is the key to unlocking this remembrance, allowing you to access knowledge that has always existed within the fabric of creation itself. Practice for divine reception. Find a quiet space under the open sky, preferably at night when the stars are visible. Sit with your spine straight and your palms facing upward. Focus your attention on the space between your eyebrows while maintaining awareness of the vast cosmos above. Allow your breath to become slow and rhythmic. Visualize your third eye as a cosmic antenna extending infinitely upward into space. Feel it beginning to pulse and vibrate, attuning itself to higher frequencies. Do not grasp for knowledge or try to force understanding. Instead, become empty, receptive, like a clear vessel waiting to be filled. As thoughts arise, observe them without attachment. Some may be ordinary mental chatter, while others may be downloads of higher wisdom. You will learn to distinguish between them by their quality. Divine knowledge arrives with a sense of clarity and certainty that transcends rational thought. Maintain this receptive state for as long as feels natural, allowing universal wisdom to flow through you, like starlight through clear glass. Part 3. Becoming Unstoppable. Chapter 21. The Unbreakable Confidence of the Awakened. In a kingdom where golden towers reached toward endless skies, a young prince named Adrian paced the marble halls, his heart heavy with the weight of impending responsibility. The crown awaited him, yet doubt clouded his vision like morning mist over mountain peaks. Seeking answers, he journeyed to the dwelling of a legendary sage who lived where the forest meets the stars. The sage, his eyes gleaming with ancient knowing, spoke not of strategy or politics, but of a truth far deeper. Power, he said, flows not from the crown you wear, but from the eye you have yet to open. Your greatest strength lies not in controlling others, but in mastering yourself. The third eye, when fully awakened, burns away the shadows of self-doubt, like the rising sun dispelling darkness. Through this inner sight you perceive your true nature, boundless, fearless, and complete. Those who rule by force command only bodies, but those who rule through inner vision lead souls. When the third eye opens fully, you recognize that all external power is merely a reflection of the infinite power within. In the valleys of the eastern mountains there lived a warrior named Kai, renowned for his skill with the sword. Yet his greatest victory came when his master blindfolded him during combat. Without the distraction of physical sight, Kai moved with unprecedented grace, anticipating every strike before it came. His movements flowed like water, guided by an inner knowing that transcended ordinary vision. This tale mirrors your own journey. The blindfold represents the closing of external distractions, the opinions, judgments, and expectations that cloud your inner sight. When you cease relying on outer validation, the eye of true vision opens, revealing your inherent power and wisdom. Sacred practice for inner sovereignty. Sit in silence, spine straight as an ancient cedar. Place your hands palms up on your thighs, symbolizing openness to receiving your own power. Close your physical eyes and direct your attention to the space between your eyebrows. Breathe deeply, feeling each breath dissolve the layers of doubt that have accumulated over time. Visualize a brilliant light emanating from your third eye, growing stronger with each breath. Let this light reveal your true nature, vast as the sky, stable as the mountains, powerful as the ocean. Any thoughts of inadequacy or fear that arise, simply observe them dissolving in this light of inner knowing. Maintain this practice until you feel anchored in unshakable certainty, until your very being resonates with the truth of your divine nature. Let each breath deepen your connection to this inner knowing. The kingdom you are meant to rule is not just the external realm, but the infinite empire of your own consciousness, a vast domain where thoughts become reality and intentions shape the fabric of existence itself. Here, in this sacred inner space, you hold the scepter of creation and wear the crown of divine wisdom. Chapter 22. How to Manifest with the Third Eye. In the heart of an ancient city, where stone whispered tales of forgotten wisdom, lived a sculptor named Thaddeus, whose works seemed to breathe with life itself. Those who witnessed his artistry spoke of magic, for beneath his hands cold marble transformed into forms so real they appeared moments from movement. When asked about his gift, Thaddeus would smile, his eyes reflecting an inner light. "I do not carve the stone," he would say. "I see the masterpiece within and simply remove everything that is not part of it." You too possess this sacred sight, though perhaps it sleeps within you still. The universe operates not through force but through vision. Clear, unwavering sight that pierces the veil of current circumstances to behold what wishes to emerge. This is the deeper truth of manifestation. It is not about pushing against reality, but about seeing through it to the perfection waiting to be unveiled. Just as Thaddeus perceives the finished sculpture within raw stone, your awakened third eye allows you to perceive the completed form of your desires within the formless potential of the present moment. This sight, when held with unwavering focus, becomes a beacon around which reality arranges itself. In the fertile valleys of the north lived a farmer named Chen, who understood this wisdom in his own way. Long before the first seed touched soil, Chen would walk his empty fields at dawn, his inner eye filled with visions of golden wheat swaying in summer winds. He saw not the barren earth before him, but the harvest that would be. This vision guided his every action. Each furrow he plowed, each seed he planted, aligned perfectly with the future he had already witnessed. This tale illuminates a fundamental truth. Reality follows vision as surely as form follows thought. The third eye, when fully awakened, holds your chosen future with such clarity that each present moment naturally aligns with its manifestation. Find a space of stillness and close your physical eyes. Feel the energy gathering at your third eye center. Now project into the quantum field, that vast ocean of infinite possibility, the reality you wish to manifest. See it not as a distant hope, but as a present truth. Let your inner vision fill with every detail of this reality, the colors, sounds, sensations, and emotions. Feel it as if it exists now, for in the realm of pure potential, it already does. Hold this vision until it feels more real than your current circumstances, until you can taste its inevitability on your tongue. The universe responds not to what you wish for, but to what you see with unwavering clarity. Like the sculptor who perceives the finished form within raw stone, let your third eye reveal the masterpiece waiting to emerge from the marble of possibility. Chapter 23: The Power of Knowing Before It Happens. In the bustling markets of the East, where fortunes rose and fell like desert winds, there lived a merchant named Adil, whose decisions seemed guided by an unseen hand. While others struggled with uncertainty, he moved through the world of commerce as if reading from an invisible map. Those who sought his counsel would lean in close, hoping to learn the secret of his success. "I listen," he would say, "not with these ears that can be deceived by empty promises, but with something deeper, an inner knowing that speaks of what is to come." You too possess this gift of foresight, though perhaps you have forgotten how to access it. The third eye, when fully awakened, perceives beyond the illusion of linear time. Like ripples spreading across still water, events cast shadows backward through time, visible to those who have learned to see. This inner sight manifests as what many call intuition, a knowing that transcends logic, a whisper from the future that guides your present steps. Yet this is no mere gut feeling. It is the natural function of an awakened third eye, reading the subtle patterns of reality as they unfold. In a coastal village lived a sailor named Omar, whose ship never foundered in storms that claimed other vessels. While others relied on charts and weather signs, Omar would stand at the helm, eyes closed, feeling the approaching weather in his bones. "The sea speaks," he would tell his crew, "and those who listen can hear tomorrow's winds in today's silence." Through his awakened sight, Omar could sense the gathering of storms days before the first cloud appeared. His vessel would already be safely in harbor, while others scrambled for shelter, their captains wondering how he had known. This tale reveals a profound truth. Time is not the rigid line we imagine, but a fluid medium through which consciousness can move. When the third eye is open, you perceive not just what is, but what will be. This is not prediction, but recognition, seeing the seeds of tomorrow in the soil of today. To cultivate this inner sight, find a place of perfect stillness. Close your physical eyes and feel the pulse of silence. Let your awareness expand beyond the boundaries of now, sensing the subtle currents of what approaches. Practice this deep listening not with your ears, but with your entire being. Watch how events unfold after these moments of silent observation, noting the correlation between your inner knowing and outer reality. Chapter 24: Detachment. In the halls of an ancient academy where wisdom echoed through marble corridors, a philosopher named Theron gathered his students beneath an olive tree. "Life," he said, touching a leaf that danced in the breeze, "is but a dream within a dream. Your suffering comes not from the game itself, but from forgetting that you are playing." You have felt this truth in moments of clarity, when laughter breaks through tears, when setbacks reveal themselves as setups, when the weight of the world suddenly feels light as air. The third eye reveals that reality is more fluid than you imagine, more playful than you remember. Think of a child building castles in the sand. The joy lies not in the finished castle, which the tide will claim, but in the act of creation itself. So too is life when viewed through awakened sight, a cosmic game of endless possibility where attachment to outcomes creates the only true suffering. In the gaming houses of Venice there lived a man named Marco, whose victories at the tables seemed supernatural. Yet those who watched closely noticed something strange. He played with the same gentle smile whether he won or lost. His secret was not in controlling the dice, but in understanding the nature of the game itself. "The dice will fall as they may," he would say, sipping his wine while others fretted over their fortunes. "I simply dance with them." And dance he did, moving through wins and losses with equal grace, accumulating wealth not through force but through flow. This tale illuminates a deeper truth. Mastery of life comes not from controlling its events, but from releasing their emotional hold over you. When the third eye opens, you see beyond the drama of winning and losing to the perfect play beneath it all. To embrace this wisdom, sit in stillness and observe your breath. Watch how thoughts arise and fall away, like waves on the shore. Notice how your attachment to these thoughts creates tension in your body. Now imagine yourself as the vast sky, watching the clouds of events pass through you without resistance. Feel how liberation comes not from controlling the game, but from playing it with an open heart. Let your awareness expand beyond the boundaries of your physical form. Just as the gambler found peace in accepting the dance of the dice, you too can find serenity in surrendering to life's eternal flow. When you release the need to force outcomes, you align with the universe's natural rhythm. Your body will tell you when you've found this sacred space. Tension melts away, your breath deepens, and you experience the profound truth that you are not separate from the cosmic dance, but an integral part of it. Chapter 25. The Third Eye and the Heart Connection. In the mist-shrouded peaks of the Himalayas, where ancient wisdom whispers through forgotten valleys, a monk named Rahul discovered a weathered manuscript wrapped in silk. Its pages, brittle with age, held a truth that would transform his understanding of inner sight. You have been taught that the third eye is the seat of wisdom, the gateway to higher perception. Yet wisdom alone can leave you cold, distant from the very world you seek to understand. The manuscript revealed what the sages of old knew, that true sight flows from the marriage of vision and love. Think of how a mother knows her child's needs before they are spoken, how lovers can sense each other's thoughts across vast distances. This is not mere intuition. It is the third eye awakened by the heart's infinite power. In a distant village lived a healer named Chen, renowned for his ability to see into the depths of human suffering. Yet something curious marked his practice. He could only heal those for whom his heart opened in genuine love. Many sought his gift, but healing flowed only when compassion guided his sight. "I see all who come to me," he would say, "but I can only heal those I truly love." At first this seemed a limitation, but in time he understood it was the source of his power. When heart and vision united, miracles occurred naturally, effortlessly. This truth beckons you now. The third eye's greatest power awakens not through technique alone, but through love's transformative touch. When compassion guides your inner sight, you perceive not just information, but the sacred essence within all things. To embrace this sacred union of heart and vision, begin by placing one hand gently over your heart center and the other on your third eye between your brows. Breathe deeply and rhythmically, allowing golden healing light to flow freely between these divine centers of perception. Feel how your heart's natural warmth softens and enhances your inner sight, melting away the barriers between observer and observed. Let love guide your perception, showing you not just what is, but what could be through compassion's transformative lens. As the energy flows like a river of light between these sacred points, notice how your vision becomes clearer, warmer, more alive with understanding. This ancient practice awakens the dormant wisdom within, revealing the profound connection between love and true sight that the masters have known for millennia. Chapter 26. The Magnetic Aura of a Third Eye Master. In the heart of an ancient city where merchants called their wares and haggled over prices, a remarkable scene unfolded. A traveler, wrapped in simple robes, entered the marketplace without word or gesture. Yet as he moved through the bustling crowd, a hush fell over the usually chaotic space. One by one, people turned to watch him pass, drawn by an invisible force they could neither name nor resist. You may have experienced moments when certain individuals commanded attention, without speaking a word. This is no accident, but rather the natural radiance of an awakened being. When the third eye fully opens, it transforms not just perception, but your entire energetic signature. The universe speaks in vibrations, and those who have awakened their inner sight resonate at a frequency that others instinctively recognize, like a tuning fork that causes nearby strings to vibrate in harmony. An enlightened presence naturally influences the energy fields around it. In the mountains of Tibet lived a sage named Dorje, who never raised his voice or preached to others. Yet when disputes arose in nearby villages, people would seek him out. They would find him sitting in meditation, and something in his silent presence would dissolve their anger, revealing solutions that had been hidden by emotion. Even the weather seemed to respond. Storms would quiet as they approached his dwelling, as if nature itself respected the power of his inner peace. What Dorje understood, and what you must now learn, is that true power needs no announcement. The awakened third eye creates an energy field so pure and potent that it naturally draws all things into alignment. Success, abundance, and influence flow not from external effort, but from this internal radiance. To strengthen your own energetic presence, sit in stillness with your spine straight. Imagine your third eye as a brilliant sun, radiating golden light in all directions. With each breath, expand this light until it forms a luminous sphere around your entire body. Feel this energy becoming more refined, more pristine with each cycle of breath. Let it pulse with the rhythm of your heart, growing stronger and clearer, until you sense yourself becoming a beacon of light. Maintain this practice daily, and watch as the world begins responding differently to your presence. Chapter 27. The Law of No Effort. In a kingdom of old there lived a ruler whose power stretched across vast lands. Yet despite his wealth and influence, he yearned for more. Tales reached his ears of an ancient power, one that could manifest desires instantly without effort or time. You, like this king, may have searched endlessly for the secret of instant manifestation. The truth lies not in gaining more power, but in releasing the very need to control. The king journeyed far and wide, consulting sages and mystics, each claiming to hold the key. He studied countless scrolls, performed elaborate rituals, yet his desires remained unrealized. Until one day, exhausted from his quest, he rested beneath a tree and simply let go. In that moment of complete surrender, everything he had sought appeared effortlessly before him. When the third eye awakens fully, you understand that manifestation occurs in the quantum field instantly. What you perceive as delay is merely resistance, your own doubt, effort, and attachment creating friction against the natural flow of creation. Along the shores of a sacred river lived a humble fisherman named Wei. While others struggled with heavy nets and fierce determination, Wei would cast his net with gentle grace, as if offering it to the water itself. Day after day, his catch exceeded all others. When asked his secret, he simply smiled and said, "The fish come to those who do not grasp." The universe operates through perfect law. Like water flowing downhill, creation moves along the path of least resistance. Your role is not to force or manipulate, but to align with this flow. When you trust deeply enough to release all struggle, what you seek manifests with supernatural speed. To practice this truth, sit in perfect stillness. Feel the weight of effort dissolve from your body. Bring to mind your desire, not as something to achieve, but as something already complete in the quantum field. Rather than reaching for it, allow it to emerge naturally, like a flower blooming in its own time. Hold this state of deep trust and surrender, knowing that what is yours cannot be denied. The moment you truly let go is the moment manifestation begins. Chapter 28. The Third Ritual. In the heart of an ancient mountain temple where time itself seemed to pause, a young disciple named Akira was led through corridors of whispered wisdom. His master stopped before a sealed chamber, untouched for centuries. You now stand at the threshold of ultimate perception, where the boundaries between self and universe dissolve. What follows is not merely a practice, but a sacred transmission passed down through countless generations. The master revealed to Akira a ritual so profound that those who mastered it gained access to all knowledge, past, present, and future, merged into a single point of awareness. This was not achieved through study or effort, but through complete surrender of the individual self. When you align perfectly with universal consciousness, you become it. There is no separation between knower and known, between seer and seen. This state of divine perception emerges naturally when you release all attachment to individual identity. High in the snow-capped peaks of the Himalayas, a monk named Tenzin spent decades in silent meditation. One morning, he emerged from his cave with eyes that held the light of infinite knowing. He could answer questions before they were asked, guide travelers before they lost their way, and heal ailments before they manifested. Yet when asked how he acquired such power, he would say, "I know nothing. I simply ceased to exist as separate from knowing itself." The secret lies not in accumulating wisdom, but in becoming wisdom itself. Just as a drop of water contains the essence of the entire ocean, your consciousness contains the totality of universal intelligence. The only barrier is the illusion of separateness. To access this state of omniscience, sit in absolute stillness. Let your breath become so subtle it barely stirs the air. Feel the boundaries of your being start to dissolve. Imagine your consciousness expanding like ripples on a pond, touching everything, becoming everything. Allow all thoughts of individual self to melt away until only pure awareness remains. In this space of complete surrender, universal intelligence flows through you naturally like light through clear glass. Stay here, merging deeper and deeper with the infinite mind, until you no longer know where you end and the universe begins. Chapter 29. Seeing Your True Self. Upon the highest mountain peak, where the air grows thin and reality bends, a seeker named Zhen reached the end of his lifelong quest. For 30 years he had climbed sacred peaks, studied with masters, and sought the ultimate truth. Now before him lay a perfectly still lake, its surface like polished obsidian. You seek what has always been within you. The greatest mystery of the third eye is not its power to perceive distant realms or future events. It is its ability to reveal your true nature. When Zhen gazed into those sacred waters, expecting to find the face of enlightenment, he saw only himself. Not the self he knew, bound by time and form, but his eternal essence, luminous and infinite. In that moment, he understood that all his searching had led him back to the beginning. The third eye does not grant new powers. It strips away the illusions that hide your inherent divinity. You are not becoming something greater. You are remembering what you have always been. In a distant valley lived a sculptor named Wei who dedicated his life to creating the perfect statue. For years he chiseled away at a massive stone, guided by an image he could not fully grasp. As the final pieces fell away, he stood before his masterpiece in awe. It was his own face, not as others saw him, but as he truly was beneath all masks. This mirrors your own journey of awakening. Just as Wei removed everything that was not the true image, you must strip away all that is not your authentic self. The layers of conditioning, false beliefs, and borrowed identities must fall away until only truth remains. Sit in perfect stillness, eyes closed yet seeing inward. Ask yourself, who am I beneath all thoughts, all memories, all identities? Let each answer arise and pass away, diving deeper beneath each layer of self-concept. Watch as the observer becomes the observed. Stay in this space of pure awareness until you touch the core of your being, unchanging, unlimited, and eternally present. This is the final revelation of the third eye, not to gain something new, but to recognize what has always been. You are not the seeker, you are what is sought. Chapter 30. You are now unstoppable. You stand now at the threshold of infinite possibility. The journey that began with questioning reality has led you to this moment of profound awakening. The third eye is not just open, it has become your primary lens for experiencing existence. Look around you. The world appears the same, yet everything has changed. The walls that once seemed solid now pulse with living energy. The barriers that appeared insurmountable reveal themselves as mere shadows. You see through the illusion of limitation into the vast field of pure potential. Through these ancient teachings, you have discovered that reality bends to aligned consciousness. When perception shifts from the eyes to the third eye, manifestation becomes as natural as breathing. The universe is not happening to you. It is responding to you. In the mountains of Tibet there lived a wise woman who kept a magnificent bird in an ornate cage. For years, visitors would comment on the cruelty of keeping such a creature confined. One day a child asked why the bird didn't simply fly away. The wise woman smiled and opened the cage door wide. The bird remained perched, comfortable in its familiar space. Days passed until finally, during a fierce storm, the bird spread its wings, not out of desperation, but because it finally remembered it could fly. The cage had never been locked. The only chains were those of belief. Like this bird, you have discovered that the limitations you perceived were self-imposed. The power to transform your reality was never granted by these teachings. It was awakened by them. You were never truly bound, you were simply waiting to remember your wings. This final practice requires no complex ritual or sacred mantra. Find a quiet space and close your physical eyes. Feel the energy pulsing through your third eye, no longer a mysterious force, but a familiar ally. Let your awareness expand until you sense the infinite field of possibility surrounding you. Now make this declaration, not with your voice, but with your entire being. I am the creator of my reality. What I see, I become. What I envision, manifests. Hold this truth not as a belief to be proven, but as a reality already expressed. Feel the absolute certainty that comes from direct perception rather than borrowed knowledge. You have moved beyond seeking and entered the realm of knowing. The power you have accessed is not new, it is ancient, eternal, and has always been yours. Like the bird in the cage, you needed only to remember that you were born to soar. This truth has been whispered by sages through the ages, encoded in sacred texts, and etched into the very fabric of creation itself. You are now awakening to what your soul has always known, that the infinite power of the universe flows through you, waiting to be channeled into divine expression. Just as a diamond buried in the earth remains a diamond, your inner light has always shone, whether recognized or not. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. The journey never ends. In the ancient halls of wisdom, it was said that true sight comes not from reaching a destination, but from embracing the eternal dance of awakening. Now that your third eye has opened, you stand at what appears to be an ending, yet this is merely the beginning of your true journey. A master potter once created thousands of vessels, each more perfect than the last. When asked why he continued despite achieving mastery, he replied, "The clay teaches me something new each time I touch it. So too will your awakened perception reveal deeper layers of truth with each passing moment. The power you now hold is both profound and natural. Like breathing, it requires no effort, only awareness. The world around you is transformed not because it changed, but because you now see it through unveiled eyes. Colors appear more vivid, synchronicities unfold with graceful precision, and the once solid walls of limitation dissolve into pure potential. Remember the blind sage who taught that true vision comes from within? His wisdom rings truer now than ever before. Each moment offers a choice: to see through the eyes of limitation, or to perceive through the lens of infinite possibility. The difference lies not in what you look at, but in how you see. Your journey has stripped away the illusions that once clouded your vision. Like a mirror wiped clean, your perception now reflects reality in its purest form. Yet this clarity is not static. It deepens with each conscious breath, each moment of presence, each act of creation. The universe has indeed been waiting, not for you to arrive at some final destination, but for you to step into the eternal flow of conscious creation. Every thought, every intention, every moment of awareness now ripples through the fabric of reality with unprecedented power. Walk forward not as one who has completed a journey, but as one who has remembered how to dance with the infinite. Let your awakened vision guide each step, knowing that mastery is not about controlling reality, but about flowing with its divine intelligence. The power you have accessed is both ancient and ever new, as fresh as the morning dew, yet as timeless as the stars. Use it not to prove anything to anyone, but to express the boundless creativity that flows through you. Create not from need but from abundance, not from fear but from love, not from doubt but from unshakable clarity. The universe moves through you now with conscious precision. Each moment is an opportunity to see deeper, to create more boldly, to love more fully. This is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of your true expression as a conscious creator of reality. If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.